Previously on the 2022 Equal Car Championship. Lights out and away we go. Lewis Hamilton gets a good jump off the line, but so does Max Verstappen, and he's going to be taking a 3-wide between Bottas, Hamilton, and Verstappen into turn 1. And Lando Norris has no front wing, and he is holding up the entire rest of the grid from 5th all the way down to 20th. Is a train right now right behind Lando Norris. But coming to the line, we have Max Verstappen to take his first win of the season. Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of the Equal Car Championship. Today everybody, we are headed to Australia to have a great race in Albert Park. But before this video starts, I want to say, if you guys are new here and you're enjoying this series and you want to see more, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It really shows YouTube that you guys are enjoying these videos and you want to see more of them. With that being said, enjoy the race, guys. Heading into race 3 in Australia, here is what the driver standings look like. We have Lewis Hamilton on top with 44 points, and 1 point behind him is Max Verstappen with 43, followed by Daniel Ricciardo with 27, and after that we have Lance Stroll, Sebastian Vettel, Yuki Tsunoda, Kimi Raikkonen doing pretty well so far, Fernando Alonso, Lando Norris, and George Russell in the top 10. From 11 to 20 we have Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Mick Schumacher, Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon, and yet to score so far in 2022 we have Valtteri Bottas, Sergio Perez, Antonio Giovinazzi, Nicholas Latifi, and Nikita Mazepin. In the Constructors' Championship, we have Mercedes still at the top of the grid with 44 points, all courtesy to Lewis Hamilton, followed by a Red Bull with 43 points, also all courtesy to Max Verstappen. In P3, we have Aston Martin, also with 43 points. P4 is McLaren with 33. After that, we have AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Alpine, Ferrari, who aren't looking too good, Williams, and Haas is in dead last.
It's race day here in Melbourne as we continue with what could shape up to be one of the best Australian Grand Prix. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. Its combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners make it a tricky track when it comes to overtakes. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso and Vettel, Bottas, Sainz, Perez and Mick Schumacher, Ricciardo, Gasly, George Russell and Stroll, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Yuki Tsunoda and Esteban Ocon, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
We got the 5 lights coming on to the 2022 Australian Grand Prix. It is Max Verstappen by Lewis Hamilton. It's lights out and away we go. Max Verstappen gets a great jump off the line, but so does Lewis Hamilton to go side by side in turn 1, followed by Leclerc, Norris, Vettel, Alonso, Bottas, Sainz battling Mick Schumacher right now. We got Perez, Ricciardo, Russell, Gasly, Tsunoda, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Latifi, Ocon, and Mazepin to round off the grid. We have a great battle going right now between Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso, former Ferrari drivers and former world champions right here. Look at this with Alonso going on the outside of Vettel. Great battling there. We go down the grid looking at Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Ricciardo, Russell, Gasly, Tsunoda, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen, Nicholas Latifi, Esteban Ocon, and Mazepin rounds off your grid. Going on to lap 4 right now. Oh, this is terrible news for Lewis Hamilton and his title challenges. Lewis Hamilton looks like he has an engine failure. This is not good for him. In lap 4 of the Australian Grand Prix, they must have gave him Bottas's car or something because the engine failed. That is so unfortunate for Lewis Hamilton, as he was right behind Max, looking like he was going to challenge for the victory today. I guess he's not anymore, and this is going to be terrible for his title hopes. Going into lap 4 right now, we also have Lando Norris's view right now of the engine failure, as he got a massive smoke mask, and that is not good for him. If Charles Leclerc, doesn't look like he got a lot of smoke, but he did see a little bit, and he almost clipped the back of Lewis Hamilton there. That could have been very dangerous right there. Going on to lap 9, Charles Leclerc is entering the pits to do his, I believe, one and only pit stop. I know there are different strategies in this race. Looks like there's going to be a 2-stop, maybe a 1-stop. We'll see what happens. He's on softs right now. If he puts it on another set of softs or mediums, I believe he's going to 2-stop. Alonso puts on a set of hards to go to 1-stop. He's probably going to the end of the race. That seems like an interesting strategy. And I believe Leclerc is on fresh soft tires, so he is 2-stopping in this race. Great to see some different strategies right now. And will Lando Norris get the overcut on Leclerc? Yes, he does. He maintains his position over the Monegasque driver, and looks like Lando Norris is 2-stopping as well. This could be quite interesting. Now into lap 15, Leclerc is hounding the back of Lando Norris here. I don't know if he's going to make a move, but he's definitely close enough to make a move right now. He's in the slipstream. He's going around the outside of Charles Leclerc. Ooh, and Lando, a late braking move there to defend. On to lap 16 now, Leclerc is once again still on the back of Norris, but we got Verstappen, Mick Schumacher, Carlos Sainz. All these guys look like they are 1-stopping, and they are catching up to the back of these two. It looks like they're holding each other up quite a bit, which is not very good for them. Lando Norris on lap 17 is going to be coming in to make his second and final pit stop here. Hopefully the McLaren guys can give him a good stop, as he really needs a good stop here, because he doesn't want to get undercut by Leclerc, who I believe is probably going to go one more lap, and then he will box. But Max Verstappen is pretty much going to be taking the lead now, going to the end, and Lando Norris gets held up in the pits. Oh, that is terrible for him. So unfortunate. Let's see what happens at the end of lap 18 now, with Leclerc coming into the pits. Hopefully he can get a good pit stop and won't get held up. And Max Verstappen is going to take the lead right now. So looking like a great, easy race for him. Especially an easy 1-stop race for Verstappen, as Lewis Hamilton DNF'd on lap 4. That is so unfortunate for him. And Leclerc gets a beautiful stop and doesn't get held up, puts on mediums. The real question is, will he get out ahead of Lando Norris? And look at all these 1-stoppers right now. We got Vettel, Bottas, Alonso, Perez, Ricciardo, Gasly, Stroll. I believe all these guys are 1-stopping. And Charles Leclerc does get out ahead of Lando Norris. And Mazepin almost runs into the back of him there. That could have been bad. But Leclerc gets out ahead of Lando Norris. And looks like some other guys are going to be boxing soon. But there's a great battle right now between Lance Stroll and Pierre Gasly, with Leclerc and Norris getting held up behind them. Lance Stroll clears Pierre Gasly. Great move there. But this 2-stop strategy is looking like it might work. It's going to be close by the end of the race. We got 5 laps. I don't think they're going to get onto the podium, but they can certainly make up places. And we got Leclerc going on the outside of Pierre Gasly right now. He's got the slipstream and DRS, makes the move stick. Very nice move there for Leclerc to get up to P8. Let's see if Lando Norris can do the exact same thing. He is also on fresh tires, slipstream, DRS. He's going around the outside of Gasly in that beautiful AlphaTauri livery. Oh, and he makes the move stick going into the corner right there. We're now riding on board of Valtteri Bottas. Oh, and he just spun it. How did he do that? That's not even a hard corner to not spin at. That sucks for Bottas, man. He was running in a really good, I believe he was in P3 or P4. That could have been his first points of the season, but looks like he just completely threw it away. That really sucks. Going on to lap 27 now, we have Leclerc chasing down Lance Stroll for 6th place in this race. It really does not look like the alternate strategy of the 2-stop is working out for the Ferrari and the McLaren driver today. They're making good pace. They maybe need like 5, 6, 7 more laps maybe to get up to the podium, but we don't have that much time. We got 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and Leclerc is battling Lance Stroll very hard right now. Looks like those medium tires are starting to fall off a little bit, and Leclerc's going on the outside right where Bottas spun on the previous lap. Leclerc gets the move. Does he get the move done? Yes, he does get the move done on Lance Stroll. Brilliant racing there for those two. Looks like Lando Norris is probably going to take that spot as well. Oh, he hasn't yet. On to lap 29 now. It's been a very easy race for Max Verstappen, as he has just completely dominated all race long. Very great, excellent performance from him. We got Sebastian Vettel in P2. Great race for him once again. Fernando Alonso's in P3. Good to see Vettel and Alonso on the podium together. Perez has a great race to finish, is going to be finishing in P4, followed by Ricciardo in P5. Like I said before, Leclerc on the alternate strategy P6, Lance Stroll P7, Norris in P8 on the alternate strategy. Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin are going to be rounding off your top 10 in this race. That is very interesting. I did not think that the Haas boys would have such a good race, but they put in a good strategy on the one stop. Carlos Sainz, Pierre Gasly, Giovinazzi, Russell, Ocon, Bottas, Latifi, and Tsunoda are going to be rounding off your finishers. But coming to the final corner of the 2022 Australian Grand Prix, it's going to be going to Max Verstappen as he wins the Australian Grand Prix in 2022. Great performance for the Red Bull team today, followed by Sebastian Vettel in P2. Way to get on the podium once again. Fernando Alonso is being chased down by Sergio Perez, but it's not enough, and Fernando Alonso finishes P3 to round off your podium with Sergio Perez in P4, followed by Daniel Ricciardo with a great strategy in P5, Leclerc P6, Lando Norris finishes in P8. He cannot get past Lance Stroll in P7. Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin round off your top 10.
And a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
At the end of race 3 in Australia, this is what your driver's standings look like. We have Max Verstappen taking quite a big lead over Lewis Hamilton with 68 points to Hamilton's 44 because of the DNF, with Sebastian Vettel in P3, followed by Daniel Ricciardo, Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Charles Leclerc, having a good points all last race, Sergio Perez, Yuki Tsunoda, and Lando Norris round off your top 10. From 11 to 20, we have Kimi Räikkönen, George Russell, Mick Schumacher, Pierre Gasly, Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon, and Nikita Mazepin. And yet to score, we have Valtteri Bottas, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Nicholas Latifi. For your constructor standings after race 3, we have Red Bull on top with 80 points, followed by Aston Martin in P2 with 67, and McLaren in P3 with 47, followed by Mercedes, Alpine, AlphaTauri tied with Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and Williams.